So for the past 4 years of my life, I was focusing every single ounce of effort on trying to build the aesthetic physique. And I went from this to this over here. I know, insane. So in this video, I really want to give you 9 lessons that I truly wish I learned or that I knew before I was starting out. And if I go back in time and say 9 lessons to my younger self, it would be these. Because there's such an important and crucial lessons that if you're somebody who's skinny fat, or if you're somebody who's skinny or just a newcomer, this can single-handedly change your life. And I want to give you all these lessons in under 30 minutes. If you don't know who I am, my name is Zarko, and I help online coaching consulting entrepreneurs build an aesthetic physique, which by nature of a product gives them more confidence. And if you have more confidence, people like you more, you have more conviction in your own product, which indeed will make you more money. So the first lesson that I truly wish I knew when I was starting out is that it doesn't really matter how hard you work out if you don't show up consistently. And this is just the lesson on consistency, and I know it's a pretty obvious one, but still people are not doing it. People are still looking for the supplements, the easy ways and hacks on how to get jacked, even though the quick fix, the quick hack is just show up and do it. Like, really, if you show up, if you train hard consistently, that's it. I mean, I really mean it. It's better to make slow, consistent progress than to just go up and down, up and down, up and down unconsistently and not know how much progress are you making or where you are on a whole scale. And that is why I really have respect for one of my friends that I go to the gym with. And he literally has the same workout program. Like, you wouldn't even believe me, but he literally has the same workout program for like 3 or 2 years, something like that, for a long time. And he's still doing it. And he's building muscle, he's jacked. Now, is it the most optimal? Maybe not. Does he like it? Fuck yes. Does it work for him? Fuck yes. And so my whole point is that you shouldn't really try to find the most optimal workout. You should focus more on just finding what you like and just doing it consistently. It isn't about how hard you work, it's just about how long are you in the game. And that is what matters the most. It's what 4 years ago when I was starting out I didn't realize. Maybe you can relate to the whole thing, but for 1 week, like, it's just, wow, I'm so hyped, I'm so motivated. And you know, you work out consistently somewhat for a couple of days, and then the other week is just like PU trough. You don't even work out, you eat junk food back again. And it takes some time to be able to build the discipline and the courage to do so. But when you do it, you're just keeping the ball rolling. And that's really it. The second lesson that I truly wish that I knew is that you don't lack time, you lack desire. I'm saying this right now because time is one of the biggest excuses. People have excuses about diet, about their own self-limiting beliefs, which fine. They have it. But the biggest one by far that I find also in myself and other people is time. People think they have enough time. The time is just, man, you know, if I only had more time. But can you imagine somebody who has the same amount of time or is on the same schedule as you are doing the stuff you want to do, hitting a workout? Yes. Like, if you can theoretically imagine somebody after 10 hours of 8 hours of work going to hit the gym or before work, doing this kind of workout, then it is possible. It really is possible. And so the whole point is that you don't lack time, you lack desire, which means that you don't want to do it because of some painful reason maybe, or because you might think you're going to fail, or whatever reason might be. And that is up to you to find and figure it out. But you have time, so don't blame time. For example, in a sales call, when people say their objection is like, I'm going to think about it. It's either fear or it's either financial incapability. They don't have enough money. And that's really what it is. It's like either these two things. They don't have enough money, so they're like, I don't want to say that I'm poor, or they just fear that you cannot deliver the results, or maybe they fear that they themselves cannot even do it, or something else. And it's up to you to figure out what it is, to break a fear, to break a limiting belief, to then be able to sell to the person. It's the same thing over here. Literally the same thing. You just have to realize that time isn't the constraint. It's just excuse you love to say to yourself because it's an easy one. You don't have to sit down with it and think why you're not hit the workout. You can just say, oh, I don't have enough time, which I did, and shame on me, but it never really helped me. You have time, but you don't have desire, and that is what is really stopping you from building masa. Third lesson that I wish I knew is that you have to figure out basics. And when I say basics, I mean basics, basic thing. And from then on, it's just about how hard do you row. A lot of people want to see some kind of new supplement, some kind of new research going out and then finding something new. But to really make progress in the gym, it's about figuring out what works, some kind of basic thing that you can do every single workout, and just doing that. And that's really it. You can have a perfect form. You can focus on form, you can focus on, for example, eccentric hold. You can focus on how you're doing the rep itself. And if you just train hard, so how hard do you row, you're going to get jacked. Even if you don't have the new latest supplements, even if you don't have the new latest clothes, even if you don't have the new latest like cool things people speak about in fitness, because you don't need it. Like, you really don't need it. People speak about supplements, and yeah, sure, supplements can help you out, but it's about figuring out a basic thing. It isn't about adding more, it's just about adding less. But just figuring out what basic thing that will get you there, that you have to do daily, and just doing that, and doing that a lot harder and a lot better. Because if you go with that kind of approach, if you focus on the form, if you focus on the eccentric focus, so when you're lowering down the weight, you focus on that. If you also focus on long leg partial reps sometimes from time to time, if you have a good rest, good pre-workout, post-workout meal, if you do just basic things, and if you focus on those, it's just about how hard you row, how hard do you want to go on this, and how much effort do you want to put in. Because at some point, like, there's always diminishing results. You know how it goes. In the beginning, it's just like, you know, a lot of like results in the beginning, and then slowly tapers away. Really, really slow progress. So just focus on the basic things. That is the kind of point I'm trying to make. Basic things, basic exercises, and just try to do it as best as you possibly can and humanly can. Because if you do that, you're going to get jacked, without a question. The fourth lesson that I truly wish that I knew is how you do it is more important than what you do. And this ties back to the third lesson, which is about figuring out a basic thing. It's more important to do something better than to try to find the new thing that everybody's speaking about. To give you an example, in fitness you have these kind of videos that you can watch, and they're about like ranking exercises, you know, the best, most optimal back exercise. And don't get me wrong, these videos are useful, but the problem is that you don't need it. You really don't, because here's the thing. If, let's say, the most optimal exercise is like pull-ups, I'm just giving some random guess. Let's say pull-ups. They activate lats perfectly 10 out of 10. And you're somebody who hates pull-ups. If you would do pull-ups in a workout, in your pull workout or back workout, whatever, you would not like that kind of workout. And you would not make progress because you don't like the exercise. And so the point is that it isn't important what you really do, as long as it's some kind of normal and generic exercise. Like if you're doing some kind of stupid shit, then of course, change it. But if you're doing the generic exercise, it's just about how you're doing it. Do you push yourself to failure? Do you push hard? Do you have eccentric focus? Are you progressively overloading? And if you focus on these kinds of things, so basic things, that's what matters. Don't try to change the exercise just because somebody said so. That's my point. I did it so many times, and I'm so keen on myself because I lost progress because of it. Like, I had this one really good workout for chest that I was doing for 3 months, and for some reason I decided to completely change it. I said, okay, I'm going to do this now, and I hated it. And only now I realized that I changed the whole workout, and that is why I didn't gain muscle. And so I just went back to the workout, grabbed things that I like from it, and just did it again. And now my chest is again growing. So the point is that you just want to focus on how you do it more than what you do. Because if you just make that a priority, you're going to get jacked every single time. Whatever else you're doing, it doesn't really matter. The fifth lesson is don't do more, do better. And this lesson is same with the fourth and third lesson, I would say. Because you don't want to just do volume for the sake of doing volume. There is time when volume and quantity is good for itself. But you have to realize that if you just do quantity, it will just taper off. And when I mean taper off, I mean you will not gain muscle. Like at some point, quantity is good if you're just a beginner. If you're just somebody who's starting out, go for it. As much as you possibly can, good. But at some point, quality beats quantity every single time. The saying that I have for myself is that volume comes last. And so no matter what I do, I just always try to make volume come last. So it means that no matter what I do, I'm going to make volume the last thing. I'm always going to make my workouts better. I'm always going to try to make my workouts be more progressively overloaded. Maybe from time to time add maybe like a bit more sets. Focus on the eccentric. But only the last thing I'm going to add is like volume. If I truly cannot grow, if I truly cannot add more or do more or add more muscle, I'm just going to put a bit more sets, a bit more volume, and that's literally it. The last thing I'm adding is volume. And it's because I truly want to make sure that my sets are amazing, and that only when they're amazing, I'm safe to say, okay, I can add more. Because if I just add more, I don't know if my reps are good, I don't know if my sets are amazing, and they can just lead to me not building muscle, because I don't know if my sets and reps are good. The sixth lesson that I wish I knew is that if you're fat, you need to lower your expenses. And when I say this lesson, I really mean it. Now, this is a more of an analogy, but if you're somebody who's fat, you have to eat less calories because you're in debt. You ate more in the past, and now you have to just pretty much get rid of all these calories that you ate by now eating less. You have to repay the debt, live below your means, and by doing that, you're going to lose fat. I'm saying this because I'm somebody who was skinny fat, and it's really hard for somebody who's skinny fat to lose fat because like you kind of are grown in a way to just eat more, and it takes some time to understand this whole perspective and this whole lesson. But the moment you think about it, it's like you're in a debt. You really are in a debt. You have ate more, and because of it, you now have to do more, eat less, move more, and it sucks. But it will suck until you get back to your normal weight. And that is why fundamentally you don't love yourself, is because you're fat, and now it's your job, after all of these years of you eating more food, that you have to just cut back the volume of your food and go and exercise more, which again, for some people sucks. The seventh lesson that I wish I knew is that you have to double down on your strengths, but also be aware of your weaknesses. And when I say this, I mean a lot of people in fitness, they love to just do the stuff they like. So for example, guys who have big arms, they do arms. Guys with big chest, do chest. Guys with big back, do back. And there's nothing wrong with that. But here's the problem, is that if you just keep on doing that kind of stuff over and over again, what will happen is that this chain you have, right? Imagine bodybuilding, or yeah, but your physique is a chain. So you have chest, back, let's say this is chest, back, and then you have legs, shoulders, abs, glutes, hamstrings, whatever. You get the point. You have a bunch of these chains that are all linked to each other. And this whole chain is really strong at its weakest link. So it means that if there is one link that is really weak, no matter how good, like for example chest and back is, if your hamstrings are weak, if they're small, then anybody will notice it. Anybody will make fun of it, even if you have big chest and big back. So you should focus on your strengths, but you should be aware of your weaknesses. And when I say that, I mean you have to do more of your weaknesses, because your weaknesses is what makes you stay there. It's what makes you plateau, and you have to focus on that. You have to fix that before you try to fix anything else. And for guys, it's common that they don't like legs, and guess what? Every single guy should do more. Legs. It's common people that don't like to do calves. Guess what people should do? Calves. People don't like to do hamstrings. Guess what they should do? Hamstrings. And so the point is that you have to just do the stuff you suck at, but still keep the main thing, which means if you like back, do back, but also focus on your weaknesses, because if you don't focus on those, guess what? Then you will never grow. Simple as that. So focus on your weaknesses, and also make sure that you double down on your strengths. The eighth lesson that I wish I knew, just because it's hard in the beginning doesn't mean it will be hard in future. And this goes back to the first lesson, or even like the second one I could say. But starting out is hard. It sucks. You have to build a habit, you have to change the person who you are, and because of that, you really sometimes want to give up. Be honest. You want to give up sometimes, and it's just like that. But the problem is that you give up because you think it's going to be like that for the rest of the time. When in reality, pain subsides. And I mean this. It's painful right now maybe for you, but at some point you reach the threshold where pain doesn't even exist. So for example, me going to the gym right now, it's really easy. But me running is bad. Like, I don't like to run. And guess what I should do? Run. I like to go to the gym. It's easy for me right now. And I can push myself hard, I can push myself to my limit, sure. But what is hard for me is running. And so I should just run more because it's hard and because it sucks. And the point of this is that you have to do what sucks, because when you do what sucks, you build other habits that will help you out in your fitness also. So think about it like this. Imagine you just like play some kind of MMORPG. You join the realm and you have some kind of sword, dagger, whatever. You attack a wolf and wolf kills you. You respawn. You attack a wolf again. He kills you and you respawn. You attack a wolf. Third time. Same strategy. Everything is the same. You attack a wolf and he kills you. Would you like the game? You wouldn't like it because you don't know how to play it. And the rules for the game is what makes it hard, or what makes people quit, because they don't know how to play the game. And so in the beginning, you have to understand how to play the game, how to get jacked, to even be able to like to go into the gym. So for example, like motivation for me, it doesn't even exist, because motivation exists only when you're winning. If you think about this, if you were just going to win at building muscle, if you're just big and every single workout you're getting more muscle, you would go to the gym no matter what, because you know how to do it. And so instead of focusing on, you know, it sucks right now, I don't know how to play the game, just understand how to do it, how to get better and be better, and you will have motivation every single time. And that is why people quit. It's because they don't see the progress, because they don't know how to do it, because they're pussies. They don't train hard and they think, oh well, I'm just going to gain muscle out of nowhere. When no, in reality you have to push yourself hard, you have to train, and when you do so, only then you're going to build muscle. And so in the beginning it sucks, but as you move on it will suck less because you know how to do it and you have went through it. You have seen the same lessons, you have seen the same boss, and so just go through it. And that's really it. That's fundamentally it. In the beginning it will suck, but as you move on it will be 10 times, 100 times, million times easier. And the 9th lesson, the last one, is doing the hard thing sucks, but seeing the hard thing that being done sucks even more. And this is such an important lesson because people don't like to do some kind of muscle. Let's say for example legs. Guys don't like to do legs. I haven't met a single guy who likes to do leg day, because if you like it, it means you're not training hard enough. Simple as that. But people would rather go through the pain than lose. And that is really how I think about it when I think about leg day, is that it is hard, but if I don't do legs, then they're the only muscle that is lacking. And I don't want that. So if you just zoom out the big picture and see the things you don't want to do in fitness, and see that as the constraint, as the weakest link in a chain, that is what will motivate you to train harder and to do it. Because seeing that thing not growing sucks, because you know that is the reason why you're not doing it. And so seeing yourself losing sucks more than you seeing yourself doing the thing that is actually hard. And so think of it just like that. Doing the thing that is hard right now in front of you, it is hard. But seeing the overall trajectory of who you are not being made up the way you want to be, or losing, or building a business but your business isn't there, isn't growing, that sucks more than fixing a problem you don't want to fix. And so just focus on that thing. Focus on doing the thing that is hard right now, that you know for a fact will suck less than if you would overall lose. If you just focus on that, if you just do the stuff that is hard right now in front of you, instead of delaying it, like I said in a 7th lesson, you're going to grow, and you're going to grow really, really fast, because you're somebody who can actually dissociate pain and you can actually just win. And these are the 9 lessons that I truly wish that I learned earlier, because they would have helped me a lot more, especially the first one. That was like the biggest one that I had to learn. And as always, if you're somebody who's an entrepreneur with online coaching, consulting business, and you want to get jacked because it will give you more confidence, and as a result you'll make more money, down below first link in the description you can join our community. And plus inside you get a free course you can watch. It's completely for free, just guys inside get access to it. And as always, peace.